Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, in Devil's Reign, Superior 4, issue number 1 of 3. The concept of this book is that while Wilson Fisk has taken over everything, Dr. Octopus has helped Fisk with a little something something, and then he rewards, pronouns pal, Fisk rewards Otto Octavius by saying, here, you can have, what is it, Fort Freedom's Plaza now? Is it Baxter Building? Whatever the freaking location is that the Fantastic Four has now, that Yancey Street, 4 Yancey Street, whatever the hell they're supposed to be living. That's where he said, here, this is yours now. You can just have this because half of them are in jail, the other half are on the run, so it's your facility. And what does he do? He immediately starts, building arms? Not quite. What he does, though, is, I guess, to be expected, and it's very cliche for what's been, for what the past couple of years of Dr. Octopus has been. But since the last couple of years of what the Dr. Octopus world has been, it only makes sense. It's actually not a bad idea. So we're going to talk about all that good stuff after we give credit where credit's due. So the writer is Zach Thompson. The artist is David Tinto. Color art by Matt Mila. And VC's Ariana Maher does the letters. The cover is by Ivan Shavrin. And variant cover by Dyke Ruen and Matthew Wilson. Production design, Carlos Lau. Not entirely sure why they didn't allow it's David. There's an E at the end. David Tinto to do the cover, or at least the variant cover. The art was really good in this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that the different cover artist helped anything on this. It's just one of those weird things. Sometimes I really just don't know why Marvel chooses to do that stuff. I don't know, maybe Tinto submitted a cover that just wasn't good enough. I don't know. The comic starts off, let's get right into it, with the inside cover page. And it gives a detailed history of what's going on with Devil's Reign and a detailed explanation of what's about to happen in these next 3 issues, right? Starting now. Fantastic, right from the beginning. Very good-looking design by Carlos Lau, doing the whole, inside cover and everything like that. Really good, really fantastic. There are a bunch of different kinds of arms in here, Dr. Octopus arms, and it makes sense, because that's exactly what we're going to see when we open up the book. Really good stuff, right? Very first page is good. After that, well, actually, it continues for the most part. Look, the art in this book is fantastic, okay? Several of the things that you're going to see, they were done well. Even if some of the ideas were a little bit clunky, it was still done well, the art. And I really enjoyed what I was seeing. Every time I turned the page, every time I scanned down one page and over to the next panel on the other page, right? It was really good, very well done. I enjoyed this immensely. Now, as for the writing, I think Zach Thompson is the guy who did Mech Strike and all that stuff, which was, I didn't know it at the time. I was pretty sure, and it turns out I was absolutely right, though, that all of this stuff was just, Zach Thompson is the guy they seem to get often for any of the properties that they're trying to sell, that they get, hey, we're a toy company and we want to make mech versions of, the superheroes. Okay, well, we're going to make a comic book for it. We'll be happy to help you, advertise this toy you're going to do as long as you're paying us to do whatever. So, unfortunately, by Zach being a yes man, it's kind of, I don't know, like it's paying him, and if he doesn't care that, people say, oh, this, that, and the other thing. And maybe he did the mech thing, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But I see Zach Thompson in a lot of things that if it was his idea to do, if he's the one who made the pitch, the opening pitch for the idea to do things, it's like, dude, what are you thinking about? But his writing is such that it doesn't come off that he would have such a lousy pitch so often, So I don't know who's doing what, where, what, or whatever, but I feel like Zach knew what he was doing with this. He had a good idea of where to go. He's clearly been reading a lot of the comic books, or C.B. Cebulski and Tom Brevoort's not credited on here, but, Brevoort, the people who know the stories, gave him some advice. Hey, this is some of the stuff that's been happening in the stories as of late. I don't know, but it just seems that way to me. there's, see, by the main cover, I thought that Ock was just going to bring back a bunch of versions of himself, which alone would have been good. Obvious reference to the Council of Reeds. I mean, we're doing Dr. Octavius, but in the Fantastic Four universe, or the Fantastic Four world, so to speak, the building at the very least, using their tech, Reed tech, they, the references were obvious, but it kind of took the piss out of, it's always a weird saying, it took the piss out of it. It's like, well, every time I pee, I take the piss out of myself. So isn't that a good thing? I don't understand. But anything that somebody would, complain, it's like, oh, obvious ripoff of the Council of Reeds. When it's mentioned multiple times, the Council of Reeds in just this first issue, it kind of takes the piss out of the argument that, oh, there's just a ripoff. Well, they're acknowledging that it's a ripoff. When you do that, I don't know, there's something special about it. It makes you feel like, well, at least they're not trying to pass it off as their own. You know what I'm saying? At least it's more of, hey, this was a good story and I'm going to try and build off of it, as opposed to, what are you talking about? No, this is a perfectly innocent idea that I had. Hickman who, right? And that happened a lot in the comic book. Also, there was a single, maybe there was more than one. I think there was only one reference, the bullet point that said, hey, go and check out this book because this is where such and such happened that we just mentioned. Good enough. If you did at least one, at least you're trying at least a little bit. It makes me happy, personally, for myself. It makes me genuinely happy to see stuff like that. Everything else in here, though, I don't know. It's Dr. Octopus used to be a fairly boring character, right? It's a guy with arms. Did they ever have Dr. Octopus go for adamantium arms? I figured that's something that they would do at some point, right? It's like, I'm going to get adamantium arms. Maybe he did, and I'm forgetting it, but kind of remembering the concept. Maybe they never did it. I'm just having this concept. I don't know. But just little things like that. Why wouldn't they do something along those lines? Just little things. But instead, the best thing they ever did with Doc Ock was to technically kill him, right? When he got old, when he got, cancer-ridden, and he started messing with Tony Stark. Like, those were some amazing. So I'm reading this, and he cows Tony Stark. I'm like, wow. And it was Slott who did most of this stuff. Dan Slott. Every time that somebody says, oh, Dan Slott, I can't stand the guy, whatever. The guy has had more amazing ideas in Marvel than almost anybody. Look, when he's just lazing his way through something, it's crappy. It is what it is, I don't think Slott's going to care that I said something along those lines, but I'm not friends with the guy. Just follow him on Twitter. Sometimes he has interesting things to say. It's not going to be a huge love loss if he blocks me like he's blocked almost everybody else out there who dares say boo in the wrong direction, right? But at the end of the day, his work is still really good, He's had some amazing ideas, and probably his biggest success was Superior Spider-Man. It was just mind-blowing. You took an initially Silver Age character, right? For one of the beginning guys, one of the original foes of Spider-Man. Was that issue 4? I think it was issue 4. But whatever issue it was in the first 10, right? They just had this incredible idea and just said, boom, let's just do something different with Doc Ock. And it was the best stuff that I think most of us have read in forever, So they're, of course, reverting back to that, but not entirely. They even make a joke to take a piss out of the idea of it. One of the other Doc Ock shows up and he says, oh, he just wants us to put his brain inside of Peter Parker again or inside of Spider-Man again. It's like, no, I don't want to keep my brain packing in. Which I thought was fantastic. It's like, oh, good. So they're disqualifying that immediately because that's what a lot of us would think. Superior. It's such an interesting name, right? And when you find a Spider-Man, his word would be amazing, you'd figure, right? And that actually happens in this book because Doc is going around and he's got to, it's so funny that just yesterday I rewatched for the first time The One, Jet Li. Jason Statham was in that movie. So he did meet Jet Li before that movie War, which was a horrible movie, by the way. Jason Statham had hair in there, but he's still playing the exact same stupid character he plays every single time. I'm the super tough guy, and I'm going to ninja you if you do something stupid. Yeah, whatever. You've seen one Jason Statham movie, you've seen them all. Let's be honest, right? And he's not nearly as interesting as Schwarzenegger and Stallone used to be. That still are, in fact. I don't mean to divert. But the point is, I rewatched The One for the first time. So it's the second time I've ever seen this movie. I'm rewatching it because it says PG-13, but I'm thinking, I don't remember anything bad in that movie. And I wanted to watch it because my 6 and 8-year-old boys, I want to watch something martial arts with them. And Jet Li is the best, of the most recent martial artist, in my opinion. Classical martial artist, not a circus acrobat like Jackie Chan. He's got his place. But Jet Li is a pure martial artist. Anyway, it's just so funny that I decided to rewatch that again, because now we've got that exact concept here in this book. It's hysterical. It's one of those weird kind of kismet things, So he summons in 3 other octopuses, 3 other Ottos, right? And it's funny to me because since he's going to go around and start trying to off a bunch of other octopi, a bunch of different Ottos, Autopi, they don't realize that he's going to try and kill them also. One of them is a version of Wolverine, who instead of arms, he's got long knives that kind of clink, 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 and schnick, schnick when they come out. There's a version of the Hulk in here. It's an Otto Hulk. These ideas are really dumb for the most part. Dumb's a little bit too strong of a word, but it's so basic. It's like, oh, what if Otto was, freaking Hulk? And he's got actual arms, green Hulk arms, muscular, that come out and go pretty long and punch things. Okay, whatever. And they've all got the little Otto glasses, which just, come on, man. And then there's an Otto Ghost Rider, Otto Blaze. Yes, he actually has chains coming out of his back. Now, I wish that they were hellfire more often, but just even seeing the chains in here, it's cool that, Tinto actually had something fun to do in this book. I'm not going to spoil the ending of this book, but if I'm reading it right, it looks like there's another superior version of Doc Ock who is going to try and do the exact same thing that our Doc Ock is trying to do. So eventually there will only be 2 Ocks left, and they must battle to see who's the true superior one. The thing is that they went to a universe, and this was to me the most interesting part. They went to a universe after Doc Ock said, I am an infinite. I am, I'm superior, so I am infinite. I am in every single version of the multiverse. Just like Iron Man, just like Spider-Man, just like Doctor Strange. I'm in all of them. But it goes to a universe where the main version of Iron Man, the Iron Scab, doesn't know who he is. Doc Ock starts to lose the feeling in his arms. These arms, not those arms. Oh, there he is right there. Oh, next to Ghost Rider. Anyway, that was interesting. So even when faced with something that goes against your math, he still moves forward. And isn't this very Dr. Octopus-like? Here's the thing that's interesting about it. With different characters who are brainiacs, super smart and stuff like that, whether they've got a physical attribute or not, a combatant aspect of them or not, when their main attribute is that they're super smart, the best characters are the ones that act uniquely from other ones. If you show, let's say, Dr. Doom, that he's wrong on something, cool, but he's not going to let you show him. You're going to say, oh, I did the math. Your math is inferior. Your brain is inferior. I am Doom. He's not going to give you the opposite word. with who's another really smart one? I don't know. Just with Dr. Octopus, he's so full of pride, you could show him what he's doing wrong. And yet, he's still going to say, no, this isn't true. In fact, I'm just going to walk away from this truth, and I'm going to continue on with my plan. Because, of course, it's a superior plan. And that's what happens in here. Confronted with the reality that he was wrong on the primary principle concept that he used to theorize, and theorize, not in law. It's a theory, not a law. In order for him to, and there are steps right next to each other, but still. He comes face to face. Now that theory is blown out of the water. Now it's no longer a theory. Now it's a failed hypothesis, even. He knows that he's wrong, or he's confronted with the fact that he's wrong, but he still doesn't recognize that he's wrong. These next two issues and the ending, the sticking of the ending, this is either going to be grand or it's going to be flushed. I can't see this going either or any other direction than these two extremes. It's either going to be really good or just, what? Because Chekhov's gun. You just showed us a gun in the first act. It has to go off by the second act, second issue, or third act, third issue. I'm looking forward to see what happens next. I may be reviewing each issue of this comic book because there's only 3, right? I'll probably be reviewing each issue of these. And I really do hope that they're good. I need to think good things about Zach Thompson because he definitely has those writer's chops. I just need to, I need this to be good. I really do. Guys, that's going to be it for me. Like the video, watch an ad. I'll talk to you later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.